Hi, I'm Roger Groves. This is Mike Davis. We're supporter liaison officers for the club. Our role is a voluntary one, and from discussions with Chief Exec Brian Coldwell, we've decided that we will get together and put together a regular update on questions asked by supporters. So, Mike, do you want to just talk us through a bit about the communication that we've got with the club and with the supporters?
Yeah, first of all, it feels a bit like Smith and Jones, this does, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've got really good communication lines now with the football club. We work really closely with Brian. Obviously, Brian normally does an update, but I think this time we've sort of spoken to that many supporters in the run-up to the season, and you know, questions have been asked that we just felt that we can maybe go a little bit further with some of the issues that the club have been facing, and sort of address them a little bit more in depth than maybe the football club can, purely because we don't work for the football club, so we can be a little bit more open about certain things. So we've had discussions with the club, and obviously looked at the issues that fans have raised, and we've got, you know, an update that we're going to run through now.
Okay, great stuff, and I think it's worth just emphasising this isn't to replace Brian's update that he does. This is just in addition to that, and we get stuff on a match day, don't we? That you know, fans will come up to us and ask us questions about certain things. So that's the idea of what this is and what we're going to cover off. So Brian's update is not disappearing; it will be there, and again out very soon. So I guess the first thing, and one of the biggest topics we've had, is about the new ticketing system. So do you just want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was always going to be a sort of a step forward, really, for the football club, and it certainly will be. We've got teething issues. We know that. We're aware of the issues that we're having in the run up to kick-offs when the ground's starting to get a little bit fuller. But we're working really closely now with Ski Data and Advance to make sure that that's all resolved as soon as possible. We've obviously got Plan B if things do go wrong, so it you know, it doesn't affect supporters getting into the ground, and we've just actually done a video as well for supporters to run through some of the issues that we've sort of come across with regards to tickets not scanning properly, tickets being enlarged, which then don't scan properly. So the media lads are working on that. So we will get there with the ticketing system, and it will be a big advantage to the football club.
And that's back from feedback that we've had from supporters, so that short video should be able to cover off most of the issues that we've had. And just to point on supporter numbers, just to reiterate, if somebody set up a new account, they will have a new supporter number. That's correct, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, so for games like the Liverpool game, people were setting up second accounts because for whatever reason. When the data's then been merged across from the old ticketing system, it's basically taken the newest supporter number. So that's why, if anybody's got a new supporter number, that's why it's different.
Okay, excellent. And we've also been asked about giving regular updates on ticket sales, and that's something that we're talking to Brian and the club about. So look out for some more updates on that one. So the next question we got asked was about the club shop. I know you and I spent a couple of days last week getting all the shirts ready, so maybe you just want to touch on that one first.
Yeah, look, I think we know that, you know, the limitations we've got to the club shop. What I would say is there's stuff going on behind the scenes to try and get that resolved. I know we don't want to sort of stand here and say we can't answer certain things, but there are certain things that, if discussions or negotiations are going on sort of behind the scenes, that we're not sort of going to raise, purely because we don't want to jeopardise those discussions going forward. So look, we are aware of the limitations to the club shop, and I would say that's probably one of our next big projects to tackle.
Excellent stuff. And for me, and I'm sure for Mike as well, the one thing I noticed was the hard work that goes in behind the scenes just to get everything ready. And I was, let's say, feeling pretty tired after the last couple of days, last weekend. So, but it was all in a good cause, and it was great to see supporters around with wearing their new shirts. So, one of the other questions and big topics at the moment is around some of the buses and getting to the stadium on a match day. So, any comments on that one?
Yeah, obviously it came as a bit of a blow to us, really. I know the football club's been in discussions for most of the summer with police and council with regards to ensuring that service continued going into the new season. For various reasons, that didn't happen. So we are now in discussions, and we're trying to find a new operator. What I would say is that it's not as simple as just finding a coach company. The licensing with regards to actually taking fares on the day is totally different to just booking a coach. So it's something that we as SLOs have been inundated with, really, isn't it? So we're pushing the club quite hard to get this resolved, and I'm confident from the discussions that or the feedback we've had from the football club that they're on it, and they understand how important it is to get that resolved as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say it's going to hopefully be a positive outcome. That's the way it's looking at the moment. Also, just to point on the signage outside the stadium, that we are onto that one as well, and we've raised that one, so we should see the correct matches being advertised outside the stadium going forward. Next thing is Smithy's Bar. We've been fortunate enough to be able to go in and see some of the changes that's happening there, and I think it's really exciting what's going on. So do you want to tell them about the new bar and everything?
Yeah, I mean, it's first of all, it's obviously being run now by the foundation. What I would say is, after discussions with Jamie and the guys at the foundation, it's really positive. I know work has run over into the new season, which none of us wanted, but it isn't a small refurb. It's going to be a much larger space. The bar's being moved. I'm not going to give too much away, but it's going to be a better layout for supporters on a match day. And also it's going to hopefully allow us to have that facility that the supporters wanted, which we can run 7 days a week. That's the aim. And I know Jamie's in discussions to try and get supporters leagues going, to try and encourage fans down here in the evenings and stuff like that. So, all really positive work, and the fans wanted a supporters bar on site, and I mean, this is really sort of stage 2 of that, really. First one was to actually get Smithy's up and running, and now, we can create what we wanted.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say, all the years that I've supported the football club, we've wanted a supporters bar, even when you go back to the old Gay Meadow. So I think it's something that if we get it, we've really got to get behind it as supporters and try and support that facility. So it's starting to look fantastic. So get yourself along in the next couple of games as soon as it's open, and come and see what's been done. So we're also looking at possibly holding some events there as well, as you touched on, and that'll be conversations going on with Jamie and the foundation guys. So look out for some information on that one. The open day, Mike. Yeah, I think it was probably a short answer to this one, isn't there?
Yeah. We'll try and sort something out next summer. I'm aware that there's a lot of supporters that want the open day. A lot of it comes down to where the squad is. I know the squad's been in Spain this summer, pre-season training, but yeah, it's something that we haven't probably dedicated any time to, really. So it's back on the radar, and we'll try and get something sorted out for next summer.
Great stuff. Moving on to iFollow, we've had a question in about why we can't use that for 3 o'clock games, and you're the techie, I'm not the techie man, so you're going to have to answer that one as well.
It's not allowed. There's an embargo, Rule 48 of UEFA guidelines or something like that. Basically says that 3 p.m. games on a Saturday can't be streamed within their resident country. Obviously, that changed during COVID, which I think is probably why the questions come up, because obviously during COVID, we were allowed to stream every game, so you could actually watch the football, but we reverted back to the old rules now. And rightly so. It basically is to safeguard attendances for live football. That's the reason it's there, and it's for lower league football, it's very important that it stays in place.
And moving on to holding other events at the stadium, seems to be a bit of noise around that, why we don't and how many we can hold. So I think you can tell us how many we can actually hold of other events at the stadium.
I believe it's 8 a year. That's the figure I've been given. Again, a lot of it comes down to logistics, whether the pitch at the end of the season has to be redone, which most seasons it is being redone. Obviously, the most important thing is that we have the pitch ready for the start of the season, and concerts tend to delay that. It's something that the club's always looking at doing. I know, obviously, we've had, I think it's 3 really well-attended concerts. I think people think that we make a huge amount of money out of it. I've actually been given the figure. We don't. So it is that trade-off between the logistics and the work of getting it on and the benefit to the football club. And obviously, if it sets us back a few weeks on the pitch refurbishment, then it can have a big impact on the start of the season.
So I think it's fair to say that really it's about the club loaning the stadium out for events like that, so that they don't get a lot of control over it, etc., etc. I know I went to an event a couple of weeks ago at the Keepmoat Stadium in Doncaster, and I looked at the pitch and all the people on it. I was thinking that's not going to be ready for the start of the season. So let's be fortunate we've got a great pitch, eh?
Yeah, I think. Look, we're always, the football club's always looking at maximising its income streams, and they're not going to turn money down if they can get it. But it is very important, obviously, that we safeguard the pitch, and it's worth the work that we put in, because obviously these things take huge amounts of time to plan and put on.
Yeah. Which links us in nicely to the ladies' team, the women's team. Been asked about ground sharing.
Well, first of all, the women's team, massive congratulations to them for last season. Also, obviously, our Lionesses as well for the unbelievable results in the summer. Yeah, I mean, the women's team is massively important to the football club. I've been down here quite a few times to watch them, and the passion and the drive that they've got is incredible. And that is growing massively now within our supporter base. Every time I come down here, there's more people here to watch them. And they're an integral part of our football club. They play in blue and amber, so we will support them all the way. The reason that we don't pitch share with them is purely the overload on the pitch. The pitch can cope with so many games a week. Obviously, in the summer, I would say it's fine, but it's very dry at the moment, and it's probably not too happy. The grass probably isn't too happy at the moment, but obviously, when it gets wet in the winter and the pitch starts cutting up, if you're playing 2-3 games a week on the pitch is going to deteriorate quite quickly. I think if you look at Coventry City's current situation, the issue they've got at their ground, you'll understand why. Again, we don't pitch share. But they've got an amazing facility here. Obviously, the 4G which they use, and the women's team, I have no doubt, under the leadership of the foundation, will just continue going from strength to strength. It's an incredible setup, and really, really proud of them.
So there is a really strong link with the club and the ladies' team, and you mentioned the foundation there, and some feedback on the fact that they feel the foundation's a bit disconnected with the football club, and I think I can say on behalf of both of us, we don't really agree with that. We see a lot of what goes on, and there is a massive link between the club and the foundation and all the work that goes into that. Is that right? Yeah,
it couldn't be any further from the truth. The foundation is the heartbeat, to be honest, of this football club. The work that they do behind the scenes with community, with supporters that maybe will struggle to come to games, the support they offer them. It's absolutely second to none. I mean, if you want any indication as to the amount of hard work that goes on by the community guys, come and have a look on a match day or come down one evening in the week and you will see that the ground is being utilised every day by community. The training sessions they put on, the different classes, the mental health workshops, you know, it's a massive benefit to the community and to Shrewsbury as a town. And like I say, really the foundation is the heartbeat of this football club. So I would completely disagree that there's a disconnect there. If anything, the bonds between the football club and the foundation are getting stronger year on year, and it will continue to grow. I've no doubt about that.
Great stuff, Mike. So moving on to the first team now, and I think I probably know what the answer is going to be on this. So some fans have said we've perhaps undercooked it again in terms of transfers and stuff, and how we play, whether we're playing 4-4-2 or 3-5-2. Any comment on that, Mike?
Is Steve about? No. Look, we don't tend to comment on stuff that goes on the pitch for obvious reasons. It's not really our place. The gaffer has the job to do. He picks his players, picks his team, and let's be honest, he's been in the game long enough to know what he's doing. I wouldn't argue the case with him that I feel that we're not ready, or because he will know better than anybody where his players and where his squad are. So no, I mean, again, I disagree with that. I think Steve obviously likes a smaller squad, and to be honest, that works in part because of the bond. I think if you look at the bond between the lads, it's again second to none. And Steve knows what he's doing. The gaffer knows what he's doing. I keep calling Steve. The gaffer knows what he's doing. Look, we're all we're all behind him, and there's still a couple of weeks to go in the market. I've seen this morning he's interested in a couple more. So I'm excited for the season ahead. I think once the players gel, we'll be in for a decent season.
Excellent. So a bit of a tenuous link, but not talking about the first team and what goes on the pitch, but we've had a question about watering of the pitch. So again, do you want to answer that one, mate?
Well, it's hot, so we have to water the pitch. I know a lot of people will be saying about hosepipe bans and droughts and all the rest of it. Technically, we don't fall under the legislation that bans us from watering the pitch. If we weren't able to water the pitch, one, it would die, and two, it would be a huge health and safety risk to our players. But also, we have our own borehole here, so we don't take mains water to water the pitch. It's so really it's a non-starter. Really, we're sort of not affecting the mains water supply.
Great stuff, Mike. Thanks, and thanks for answering all the questions. So that's really just to summarise. We've covered ticketing, the kits, club shop, a bit about our role and communication, and match day experience, which is something that we've always got on the agenda at the Supporters Parliament meetings. And just to let everybody know, if you haven't already seen the news, the next SP meeting is Tuesday the 6th of September, 7 o'clock here at the Montgomery Waters Meadow. So that's the end of the update from Mike and I, all based around questions from supporters. So keep the questions coming in, and we'll keep giving out regular updates and make sure everybody's aware what's going on. Thanks.